if we have a number of seconds, we want our program to return how many hours, how many minutes, and how many seconds does that input value contain. So without further ado, let's try and write that program in Python. So what we want to do first is ask the user for this value, and the way we will do that is as usual, input, choose the amount, and we will kind of just make it as a note to the actual user that it should be in seconds. Another thing that we were asked to do was to store this as an integer, because it will be a full number of seconds. And what do we do once we have asked a user to input any value? We want Python to store this value as a variable so that we can use it later on. So it'll be good to call it seconds to make sure we are on good track. Yes, we are. We have run it and everything works as it should so far. So now we actually want to write the formulas for how our program will calculate the answer to how many minutes or hours are contained in this amount of seconds. The easiest approach, in my opinion at least, was to take a variable called minutes and then seconds to be divided by 60. Obviously by 6, because how many seconds constitute 1 minute? 60. So if we take the entire amount of seconds divided by 60, we get the precise amount of minutes in that number. Hours, and do the same thing. So if we take minutes and divide that by 60, we get the amount of hours contained in that amount. Now what we want to do is see how much of seconds are left after all of this, and the best way to do that was to use a remainder operator. And what this will do, it will give us the remainder of how much seconds are left after calculating the minutes and hours. So if we put in seconds, remainder of seconds after being divided by 60, that should give us the exact amount. So now we want this to be printed: input, hours, minutes, seconds. And in our second line, we want these values. And the reason why we are doing round is because we want a full integer to represent the full number of hours. And we want the same for minutes, rounded to 2 numbers, and the same for seconds. Line 7, error. Let's try doing it this way. So I have played with this for a couple of minutes to make it more presentable. It should look much better now. So if we take 185 seconds, we get that this is this many seconds that were input, this many hours, this many minutes, and the remainder 5 seconds. So I believe our program is working. If you can find a better way to do this, please help me learn more, because I'm still a student. I'm just practicing with this. Is a part of this channel to show my learning experience. By all means, share your progress or advices on how to do this in a better way. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time in our week 3.